Hi everybody, Tasha here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back. To everyone new, hello and welcome. I have Oscar here again today, and I'm going to do a actually requested video and also a video kind of piggybacking off of my dear friend Kelly at Kelly Girl. Kelly Girl has the same sculpt as Oscar, one of the Dwayne Awakes by Claire Taylor Dolls, and she has a little girl named Monroe. So recently she had talked about where to, how to find and get your hands on some of those hard to find dolls. And then she had followed up with video of Monroe and sharing her silicone and her movement and all of that, which I'm going to do here today. I got a couple comments about it as well, and just want to give a shout out to Pippa Dog. I don't think she has a channel, but somebody that's recently commented that I super enjoyed chatting in the comments with her, because she really got down to like talking about Oscar sculpt. This was on an older video, and the things that she liked about it, and talking about like other silicone dolls and da 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 da, which is just so much of the fun of this hobby. So if you're here for the first time or you're not subscribed, run now, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. So Oscar here is by Claire Taylor Dolls. He is one of Claire's special edition babies, small editions, that she does. She makes other dolls, like silicone kits and partial silicones, and also she has some vinyl reborn kits out there. But the ultimate in her sculpting and her dolls is her edition babies. They're usually in a small edition. The Dwaynes were done, Dwayne Awakes. There were 5 in the edition plus the prototype in the Awakes, and then there was 5 plus the prototypes in the Asleeps. The Asleeps were obviously sleeping, and they have little bit different of a mouth, but they are the Dwayne sculpt. So very small edition. So as far as Oscar, there's only 5, including him plus the prototype, worldwide. The prototype is in a museum, I believe, that's owned by, I think, the parents of the woman whose baby is Dwayne. Dwayne was sculpted after a real baby, in the likes of a real baby, which I think quite a few of Claire's sculpts are sculpted as portrait babies, or I've heard Claire talking in videos about how like she will take parts of photos of real babies, like if she likes the face or the mouth on one, if she likes the hands on another, of real babies, and put it together. That's just kind of part of how she's sculpting. Obviously, artists and sculptors use photos and things to inspire them in their sculpting. So Edition Baby is poured in Claire's proprietary premium blend of silicone. No one knows what that is because it's her, special blend, and it truly is like living skin. And I'm going to show you today Oscar's movements. First, I will share with you his features. I'll put a passy in his mouth for you to see like how his mouth takes a passy. Inside his mouth, he has a tongue, gums, and even a uvula, which is pretty cool. It's all in there in that tiny little mouth, but it's all inside there. When you open his mouth, like if I put my finger in, I can feel all the way around, all the way back. He does have a drink and wet system as well, so he drinks and wets. He can take a full bottle, a full passy. I do use lubricant. Always used a water-based lubricant. This is just like a no frills brand of KY jelly. And that just helps the nipple of the passy or the bottle slide in and out without friction on the paint. And it doesn't do any damage. It just kind of gunks up if there's some in their mouth. If you wait for it to dry a little bit, you can just swipe with your finger and it just comes right out. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't harm them in any way, at least in my experience as a collector and what I've seen from other collectors. So Oscar was the last edition babies that Claire had did as customs with a set price. So with all, and I'm going to talk about price because people ask in the comments, genuine collectors that would like to know what they're looking at, what the cost of, what they're looking at might be. So his edition was done 4 years ago. So mind you, prices have, skyrocketed since then in silicone and reborn dolls. I think a lot of it is because of the price of the materials, and, cost of living and inflation and all that. Everything goes up, obviously. And they become popular and in, high demand in a certain respect. We almost set the price kind of as collectors. It's what, other collectors are willing to pay and da-da-da-da-da. So fully loaded, meaning the Dwayne Sculpt with all of the features in the one-piece pour, with the drink and wet, with the spine, with armatures in the arms and the legs. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they came in at right around $10,000 as a set, price, and were done as customs. I did not buy Oscar directly from Claire. I was his third mommy. I got him from his second mommy. It was an amazing experience, and Oscar is absolutely positively my dream baby. Many of you that have followed me kind of know like why and what my preferences are as a collector. But the whole experience leading up to Oscar, and let me tell you all something. I never in my wildest dreams, when I started collecting reborn and silicone dolls, did I ever even dare to dream that I would have a doll like this in my nursery, in my collection. I would have told you, you are crazy, you are insane. I might have even gotten a little sour about it and been like, that's something that I could never afford, and da 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 da. I have a couple videos up talking about my journey and how I got to this place of Oscar. And what I will do is I will include a link below. I have a playlist that's everything silicones. If you take a look at my playlist, I have Learning the Reborn Hobby series. I have everything preemie, everything toddlers. I have organized for you all bits on my channel. I will put a link to the playlist, Everything Silicones, and in there you can find, just by the title, you'll see like, my story of how I got my dream baby, how I got Oscar, however it's titled, you'll notice. Because obviously this video would be forever if I included all of that. So this video, I want to share his features with you all. Now, Oscar is a full-bodied silicone, so he is anatomically correct, and I am going to, I'm not going to have him kind of hanging out the whole time because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but I am going to change his diaper and share all of him with you. So if that offends anyone, please pay attention as I'm getting to those parts if you'd like to skip over, because I kind of wouldn't have thought anything of it for doll collectors, but it has come up as a topic in this community, kind of controversy, and there are some out there that, don't, I guess, get offended by the full-bodied silicones being shared in videos and photos for whatever their own personal reasons are, which is fine. Everybody is entitled, of course, to their own opinion. There's lots and lots of stuff on YouTube and social media, and, that I'm sure there's tons of stuff out there that might offend me that I might not want to watch. And so I don't watch. That's the bottom line. Okay, so Oscar is here. Now, Kelly did a great job of describing the difference between Claire's silicone for these small edition, special edition babies that she does, that this silicone is not the same as the silicones in her kits or partial silicones, other babies. She only uses this premium blend of her silicone for these small edition babies. However, I have had one of her kits, which was the Willow Awake, and it is beautiful silicone. There is no not good silicone from Claire Taylor. But Claire herself even describes in her own videos, as she shares the dolls that she's made as she goes along, she's explained that the edition babies, there's much more time and detail put into them. It's a much more difficult cast and pour and demolding, because you've got a lot of, really fine details. So it's just a lot more work than in her more affordable as per se, Claire Taylor dolls, which is, yes, high-end dolls. Claire Taylor is one of the, top leading artists in the industry. So yes, we're looking at, high-end, if you will. But her kits are much more affordable, is what I'm saying. So the silicone and the movement of this type of silicone, it has a density to it. So, get a hair on him, okay. So it will now, mind you, Oscar had armatures in both his arms and his legs, but when I got him, his arm armatures were broken. They were no longer working anymore. So they're in there, but they just, they don't hold pose like he would be able to, up like this. However, I kind of prefer, because the sculpt holds its form and he doesn't bend in any unnatural ways. You can watch as his silicone just kind of moves. So his legs, the sculpt was more sculpted with the legs, curled up. That's, more of the sculpt. So if you put his legs up, if you keep watching closely, look at how slow they move and fall. His arms will kind of do the same thing if you kind of slowly let go. I'm going to try to get him in a place where you can see his hands are still moving. He has the squishy tummy, and the skin wrinkles, or silicone wrinkles, amazing, just like living skin. I will take you all off the tripod and get you all up close, but you can see the bend in him. And this is not pushing his limits at all. But look at how slow he comes down, how he's coming down. So one piece pour means that the doll is poured all in one piece. He is not on a ball jointed neck. I do have a brush somewhere here. I don't have the spray though, but He is losing some hair in the back because he's well loved. I pick him up a lot. I make a lot of videos and stuff. So he is, but Oscar, if you, I'm not going to get into it here, but if you look at his like other videos and his whole story, this is actually not his original rooting. And there is a reason for that, but we will talk. You can check that out in another video. So one piece pour is, make sure you're seeing this. See how his neck is in one piece, and see how he just has a whole bunch of wrinkly, quote, skin, and his neck turns beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. He has a spine back here, so I can feel it. You can see it as well. And I think the sculpt actually like still has like it, you know, looks like the spine is there without the spine, but the spine was an extra feature, because it's almost like a armature prosthetic piece in there that, you know, makes the spine in there, which is just, you know, you feel it when you're holding him. But as you can see, he just, you know, moves. Look at the wrinkles in his book. I love that. I love taking pictures of that. So you'll notice, and this was something Pippa Dog was talking about, that Claire Taylor's sculpts and the Dwayne, we were, you know, she was looking at a video of Oscar. His back is not flat. A lot of silicones, they just lay flat and just splay out. And, you know, it's so nice to see the curves, the indents in the back, like where the spine is, where you have the chubbiness here, and how it goes, you know, in down towards the, you know, buttocks. His back is he's not just like a laying like a slab, you know. And that also comes around into that he has armpits. Can you all see? Look at how in there, you know, so not every silicone doll has the, you know, armpit sculpted. It's just kind of poop, you know. So he's very, his head, his skull, it's not just a round, you know, form. It's misshapen in, quote, all the right places, the way that a real living baby would be. Our skulls are not perfectly shaped. If you shaved your head, or you look at yourself, you know, bald as a baby, there's, you know, indents, and it's not just a you know, a perfect shape. All of these things make his realism just incredibly over the top. And the fact that this silicone, which to date I have not seen any, you know, collector talking about, you know, and I mean, that's not to say it doesn't exist just because I haven't seen it, but, you know, there's this density to this particular type of silicone that it holds its form. So when you pick him up, he is 9.5 pounds, but he doesn't feel like dead weight because he has structure to him. His legs aren't, you know, bending in weird noodly positions. He just moves so beautifully in a natural form of a baby, which is, you know, it to me, it's just the ultimate, you know. So let's just remove his diaper here for a moment, and I'm gonna try, and this is his, you know, he has extremely realistic boy bits. The drinking wet is extremely well done. Obviously you can't see anything in there. It looks, you know, entirely correct. But we're gonna just go like this. So when his when I got him, only one leg arm, no, I think both of his leg armatures worked, but very quickly this one went. And then I had this one still for a while. So when it was working, his leg was more, like this. Yeah, it was more like this. His legs, both of his legs were a little bit more up like this, which is kind of how the sculpt is. But because the tummy is so soft on him, the soft core tummy, which really is how most of his silicone feels. It's not all that much softer than what his legs are and what up here is. I mean, it's a bit squishier because it's a big area, but I think that kind of all around it feels the same. His face has a little more firmness to it. I've felt other edition babies that I've had in my collections that had like really super squishy faces. His face is not, but of course it squishes. Great. But so as far as his legs, because it's softer, they, without the armatures, they just fall. They fall, but they don't splay and lay. They still have, his little feet are up. He still has, that's natural. You know what I mean? The position. But I think the sculpt was more like this. In, like, if you look at Kelly Girl's video, Monroe, because she does not have the soft core tummy feature, her leg, if her diaper is off, will lay all the way up here, because that's in the way that the doll was sculpted. So you see how slow the movement is of his legs going back down. But he'll lay, all the way like this. But for posing for photos, it is no big deal because you just go, you just scrunch up a blanket a little bit and you can scrunch his legs so that they stay and don't, come down. So he is so incredibly posable. Which I love. I love taking photos of my dolls, as many of you know, and there's always a link in the description of the video below to my Instagram. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram to see pictures of Oscar and all the babies in my collection, I post, regularly on there. And look at how he, poses, and that's his little tush. Tiny tushies, chunka-munka legs, tiny tushies, kind of Claire style. I love how he's got the little dimples there. Let's talk about his painting a little bit. Let me make sure you all are not seeing, let's see, go like that. I just don't want to get flagged. I don't mind sharing. Of course, it's art. It's a sculpt. It's amazing to see the realism and how lifelike he is. But yeah, I don't want to get like flagged and have the video taken down. But I do want to take you all off to take a look at his painting here, because having a doll that is painted, fully completed by Claire, and that has Claire's painting, she makes the paint become one with the silicone. And it's quite amazing. Her dolls are extremely durable. So yes, very expensive, but, really, really durable. So just laying here, you see all the wrinkles in his skin. And look at the depth of the realism. He's got like the little red here on the tushy. He's got like, the darker, shading here. I have had, see how his little tushy squishes. I mean, is he not, look at the armpits. See what I'm saying about his back is not just flat, look at, she's even got like a little like blood in the ears because he's supposed to be newborn. He's got the belly button thing. I'll flip him over and show you. But, look at these feet. Look at the he's got the blue in there. They're the, the blushing in the right places. And for an ethnic skin tone, he's got a lot of greens in him, olivey, depending on the lighting. So I'll get sometimes people that will comment on Instagram when I share, like photos of all of him, and they'll be like, oh, that baby looks all bruised. Well, newborn babies don't usually come out perfect. You get that blotchiness, you get different colors in different areas, depending on where the blood flow is going, how they came out of the womb, etc. Some of those, markings and colorations can stay for days, weeks, etc. So the fact that the realism and the depth in her painting is absolutely incredible. Ethnic painting is not easy to begin with. I know, because I began my journey in painting reborns, which that's a vinyl medium, last year. Eventually, I would like to get to painting silicones. I share my entire journey in painting in my channel's exclusive membership. So if you want to get in on behind the scenes, check out the Pixie Squad. Click the blue join button next to subscribe, and you can see what that is about. But in there, you'll see all my works in progress, the latest sculpts I'm working on, and all that. I kind of save that for behind the scenes, and a bit more behind the scenes in my collecting, and my chats, and also my exclusive live streams. Okay, so let's take you all off now that I guess he's just going to be hanging out here. Hopefully we just won't get flagged. I have the little PPTPs. I just didn't take one out, but look at, let me see if, now it is like the light, it's the evening, so the sun's going down, so you're getting a certain type of light. He kind of looks different in different lighting, but I mean, look at the realism in the painting, and as you can see when you're looking up close, silicone is not perfect. Silicone does not look like vinyl, reborns. That's why Kelly Girl and I had followed up with a video and talking about obtaining these dolls, purchasing these dolls on the secondary market, and how a lot of times you will never see them go up for sale, but yet you'll see them changing hands. And that is because they are changing hands quietly amongst collectors that know one another. Most of us keep lists, so we have a list of collectors that are interested in purchasing the doll we have, should we move on and let them go, and we work off those lists first, so that you want a smooth, comfortable, safe sale. Who wouldn't? When you're dealing with this kind of money, who wouldn't? You want to know that you have a collector that's seasoned and experienced, and that understands and knows what silicone looks like and feels like, and who knows what is correct and supposed to be and what is not, and things like that. Because if you've never owned even any type of silicone, it's a different medium than vinyl. And you don't want somebody getting the doll and saying, oh, well, I didn't know it was going to be like this or that or whatever. Because usually when we let one of these dolls go, it's not necessarily because we just want to. We're usually letting a baby go because we're going for a different doll, maybe the newest doll that our favorite artist has come out with or whatever. So you don't want to have that kind of money tied up, if that makes sense. So if you're looking to own a Claire Taylor doll, and there are, they do, change hands, and you're looking to go for on the secondary market, and even some, a lot of her older edition babies, even though they're ball jointed neck, they still have her proprietary blend, exclusive blend of silicone that she uses on the edition babies, and they still are absolutely amazing. I've, had them in my collection as well. So it's a process, it's a process when you're, going for a dream baby, a higher end. I'm sure there are some collectors out there. I know there's some collectors out there that, that are privileged, that just are able to, coming out of the gates, go right to Claire Taylor, hop on an auction and, buy a doll. But for the most of us, it's a lot, and it's a lot. It's a it's a big pill to kind of swallow. And it's usually for more of the hardcore collector, the collector that's, been around for a few years, really knows that this is a hobby that we are just love and immersed in and spend a lot of time in. It's like collecting anything else. Like when you start out, if you're collecting, collectible, trains, or you're getting into, building the, sports cars or motorcycles or anything like that, you're gonna start out with something easy, less expensive. You're gonna get your feet wet, and maybe you'll see, it's not really something I spend a lot of time doing. And maybe you'll see you wind up like this, where you're just all in and you are spending a lot of time. And then that makes you want to, quote, upgrade. So I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. I've made videos on how I got to Oscar, obviously, but it's nice to do updated videos to where we are in the present and what, because listen, sometimes as collectors, our taste changes, our opinions change, where we're at in the hobby or where we're at in life changes. And, we're entitled to change our minds on certain whatever things that we might share, what our preferences are, or just whatever. So I think for that case, it's smart to do, like updated videos for our audience. So that is what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to, in the next video, talk about how I got to Oscar, how you can think about getting to your dream baby, and that is whatever that looks like to you. It doesn't have to be what it is to me or to anyone else. And I will just throw out there that the key is enjoying the dolls that you can afford and have now in your collection, whatever that may be. Even if it's just like a store-bought baby doll or something you had from childhood that you're hopping in and getting started and dressing and taking photos of, and, mingling with other collectors and enjoying the hobby. If it's a doll you made yourself, if it's, just anything. And because we all started somewhere. So when you're looking at the higher end dolls and the collectors, and you're saying, gosh, I wish I could have a doll like that, and I don't think I ever could. And don't let that turn you sour. Enjoy your little nieces and nephews out there. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you that enjoy watching me enjoy Oscar, that love little Oscar, that is his aunties and his uncles out there, who appreciate the artist's work, or at the very least appreciate my love for the artist's work, because that is what it's about. We can live vicariously a bit through one another. I did for several years, before I got to where I wanted to be in silicones. And it's the fun of it. it's life is in the journey, not the final destination. It's the same with doll collecting. It is the journey. It is not the final destination. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and seen a bit of little Oscar here. I share him all the time. He is, you know, my go-to baby. So there's tons and tons of videos of little Oscar on my channel if you'd like to enjoy more of them. And as I said, over on Instagram, you can see all the photos as well as all the other dolls in my collection. Another video that I'm going to do is I have 2 other silicones in my collection right now. I have a little girl, Athena, who is the Pearl by Noemi Rourke's or Noe Art Dolls. And I have preemie little boy, Ollie, who is the Bella Boy by Jenny Lee of Wee Baby Nursery. So I'm going to have all 3 silicone babies together. And I'll just have them in their diapers so we can look at the silicone, we can look at the sculpts, we can kind of compare, and so that gives you all a little bit more of a baseline of what you're looking at, because they're all amazing dolls by their own rights and obviously loved by me and in my collection. All right, everyone, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please comment below. I enjoy it. I love hearing from you all. I love hearing your stories about what dolls you have. I don't always get time to type back. I always say this, but you'll know that I read the comment because I will heart it, and I read all of my comments, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. So please comment away, chat away. I love it, and I love you all. God bless.